Aloha, beautiful family. Bliss here. Just doing a little love stream to share a little bit more about the Darshan of the Devas, this magnificent transmission that has been flowing in since the middle of January and germinating inside of me for many, many years as I walked the grids and the ley lines of the planet for 10 years, working closely with the Devic realms. And so this new Darshan is coming in now that is really a game changer on the planet. And so we are sharing the Darshan of the Devas in Mount Shasta on Wednesday night, the 22nd, from 7 to 9:30 p.m. And I'm guided to do some more sharing about the Darshan of the Devas and invite people to join us in person and online. We're going to be doing this online also, and we're going to be doing a lot more of these online to support the return and the restoration of the Devas to the planet. So a little description about the Darshan of the Devas is that it is a celestial transmission of subtle essence. Each one of us has not only our physical body, but we have subtle bodies also. And the Darshan is a transmission that opens a field collectively together so that we have access to those subtle essences of our celestial self. We could call it our angelic self, or we could just use terms that are more scientific, like those subtler electromagnetic aspects of the self. And so as the ego is dissolving away, the consciousness is left with much more spaciousness in our physical and mental emotional vehicle or container that we think of as ourselves. And in that spaciousness, how do we navigate this new spaciousness, this new awareness, this refined energy of subtle essence? The thing that's really cool about this is where creation occurs. Creation begins in the realms of subtle essence, where the physical and non-physical convene. And so that is what is happening for many of we, is this great shift as we let go of everything that we thought we were and all of the systems and structures that go with it. So the Darshan of the Devas opens that field for all of we collectively to sit in that presence, sit in that spaciousness, and connect deeper into the mitochondrial akash that is held inside of our bodies. If this love stream is inspiring, please share it. That's called gifting. So on Wednesday, we are going to Mount Shasta to share the Darshan of the Devas transmission. And what the Darshan does is we open a field to cultivate and nurture our relationship with the Devas. And I saw this beautiful little video on Instagram today, which provides a perfect, a perfect metaphor or analogy of the Darshan of the Devas. So it was a video of a woman who worked for a chimpanzee rescue, and she set down a little box that had slats in it, and it was a cage. And what it said was she was opening this box to a little chimpanzee that had been taken by basically traders of legal traders of animals. And so she opened the box to release this baby chimpanzee. And it's such a touching video because the chimpanzee comes out a little bit slowly and then runs into her arms and wraps its arms around her neck and its little legs around her body and just holds onto this woman. And the woman is just so gently stroking this little chimpanzee with love. This is exactly what we're doing with the Darshan of the Devas, with the Devic realms, because what the guidance has shown in these Darshans is that the Devic realms got pushed out by the electromagnetic grids of the cities. And Nikola Tesla showed us that there's other ways to access energy without these electromagnetic invisible prisons that humans have been living in. And those electromagnetic grids of the cities have pushed out the Devic energy. So it's just like when cities come and it pushes out other aspects of nature, pushes out animals and pushes out clean water and all those things. The Devic realms are celestial, subtle essence realms. And in my own journey of walking the grids and ley lines, the Devas presented themselves again and again and again, because I spent much time alone in forests and walking the ley lines barefoot, sitting in nature, listening to the instructions, listening to the guidance of where to go, being shown where there was water vortexes to pray with the water and do water blessings and so on. And so the Devic realms were guiding me and showing me exactly where to go and what to do to restore a field of energy, just like a farmer cultivates their field. There is a process to cultivating the soil to have it be its most fertile. And that's what the work I was doing on the grids and ley lines was to remove electromagnetic interference patterns that were making the soil toxic for the Devas, and simultaneously cultivating energy fields to make the energy field fertile for the Devas. And the Darshan of the Devas that we are sharing now is to invite people all over the world to participate in this Darshan together now, and to understand that it's real and it's true what we do when we cultivate energy with love. We are cultivating a field, just like we can see more in the physical. A lot of my favorite pages on Instagram are people who visit the whales in the Baja, and the whales are surrounding the boats and people are just leaning over and petting the whales just like dogs. And it's phenomenal to see. And some of my other favorite pages are the elephant organizations that are helping and assisting elephants, and the lion organizations, and so on. And so what we're seeing from all of these beautiful, incredible shares people are sharing now in social media is different people following their passion to steward fields of love that allow for the bridging of different species to all come back together, because that was and is the purpose of this planetary body. This living library, akash, is balance and harmony of such a biodiverse mix of species and DNA and structures and forms of living systems. And so sometimes people can see things more when they can see it in the physical, like a dog rescue goes into the streets of India and they find dogs and they bring them back and they clean the dogs up and they heal them. And we see the dogs 2 weeks later or 2 months later, and they're like happy and they're prosperous and abundant and energetic. And that's exactly the same thing that we are doing, excuse me, with the Darshan of the Devas. We're cultivating energy fields with the subtle essence, the subtle energy of the Devic realms. And so just as people who work with dogs, or people who work with elephants, or people who work with the chimpanzees form and develop this incredible relationship interspecies between human and animal, we're doing the same with the Devas. Why are the Devas so important? Because the guidance says the Devas are actually the original stewards of this planetary garden, this planet that we're on. The Devas are the original stewards and caretakers of the planet. And so the Devas as we cultivate energy fields to invite that trust, that interspecies contact, the devas begin to come into form and reveal themselves. And I can say this personally, as I say, because of all my years walking the ley lines all by myself through forests, through nature, and seeing the Devic realms who open portals and show us things that we can't see with our 5 quotation marks physical senses. And so the joy of participating with we in these Darshan of the Devas is that we form a relationship with the Devic realms, and the Devic realms begin to show us the most miraculous, cool, supernatural, mystic things. So on the Darshan of the Devas on Wednesday night from Mount Shasta, this Mount Shasta Darshan of the Devas is key because of Mount Shasta's connection to all of the planetary ley lines. And all of the other beings that work through the energy fields of Mount Shasta, or inner earth families, star nations, all of the Sasquatch, the Yeti beings, all of these different beings have a very deep connection with Mount Shasta. And so what we do in the Darshan is the guidance comes through and opens up the field. And most of the Darshans, we then sit in silence because the Darshan field is now open and the energy is coming through. And the energy goes into our mitochondria. It starts to activate the ATP in our cells. The ATP opens up our light bodies. And the mitochondria holds our cosmic akash, our akash beyond our human form, our akash that is our cosmic akash. So information begins to come in and will continue to flow in for people as they sit in the Darshan. Very specific instruction sets, like so detailed, start to come in. And I shared this in a previous love stream, but the Devas had me research a woman's name, and it turned out she was the woman who created Findhorn. And so, of course, it was like, oh, wow, the detailed information. And then I watched some of her videos on YouTube, and she shared how specific and detailed the Devas were as they guided her in the process of creating Findhorn. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly how this information is coming in now. It's like instruction sets of detailed information. I can choose to follow them or not. It's not a requirement. It's just that the Devas are supporting us to understand our own subtle bodies, our own celestial selves, and how as we access these celestial realms of our consciousness, we can begin to interface with or commune with these subtle essence realms that have always been around us, that we lost our capacity to see and feel for most people and listen to as well. So for some of us who have remained in that connection with the Devic realms, this is not such a stretch. For some people, it's more of a stretch to understand what we're saying. So in the Darshan, we are collecting water and snow and branches on the ground and pine cones and bits of soil from every location that we do the Darshan. We're doing the Darshan with people in groups indoors, and we're doing Darshans in all of these locations with the earth. My dear friend Universal Love and I have been teleporting all around doing Darshans as we have been guided, and very mystical confirmations show up every time we do the Darshan. And so it's in the photographs, or it's in the field, or things show up on the ground that we wouldn't expect to find in those locations. The Devas are definitely and giving us confirmation. We always ask for confirmation, and the Devas are providing us with direct confirmation of the efficacy, or the truth of these Darshans. So when we go into the Darshan, as I say, we come together and we have all of these pieces of nature and bottles of water and snow we've collected. Devas have come with us from all of these different realms to expand this field of the Darshan. And then we have a small bottle of water, and this is where Dr. Emoto comes in. We love our Dr. Emoto, who showed us that water holds the imprint of thought. And in the Darshan, we have a bottle that sits in the center of the circle, and that bottle is cultivated through the love that we open and activate, that we open up inside of ourselves together. That celestial love that begins to be opened up inside of us, that goes beyond physicality. And the field is so pristine and immaculate that the devas imprint electromagnetically their cymatic field of information physically into the water. Then the devas are asking us to take that darshan, and they say that we are anointing the planetary body with the darshan. And because it now holds the cymatics of the devas within the bottle, that cymatics means how non-physical shows up as form in the physical. That cymatic is then offered to the planetary body, and the darshans, the devas, just like planting seeds in a garden, this field allows the devas to begin to physicalize or rematerialize themselves in the subtle essence that they are. So again, just like people are cultivating relationships of love with the whales and the dolphins and the sharks and the lions and all of these different animal realms, those of us who are cultivating love in all of its different forms as emissaries to assist in the restoration of this planetary body back into the garden that it was created to be. This part with the darshan of the devas is key, because as the guidance says, the devas are the true stewards, the true guardians, the true gardeners of the planetary body. And the guidance is shown in the darshan that when the devas are restored, mass transfiguration of the planetary body occurs, because the power of the devas to transform. And the devas are very subtle beings. So humans' perception of nature and the elementals, the forces of, we never call it the forces through this transmission. We say the powers of. There's a big difference between force and power in our language. And to understand that the devas are very subtle essence beings. They don't do anything forcefully. They bring the rain gently. The rain might come in a great volume, but it comes gently. It doesn't come aggressively. That is not the realms of the devas. And so the guidance shows that by stewarding these devic realms to come back into fruition, just like how humans begin to invite certain species by cultivating the field so the animals can come back to the watering hole, or the beavers can return to the rivers where there was industrial factories. This is exactly the same with the darshan of the devas. And because, as we say, the stewarding of the devic realms is key to the shift in the planetary body, the phase shift in the planetary body, because how the devas are connected to that point source connection, that place of subtle essence where the physical and non-physical converge. It's programmed in the genetics that when the 60th city ignites in multiple beings, the planetary body, the Earthship Merkaba, will shift in the blink of an eye. So the darshan of the devas is assisting with this shift by cultivating our relationship with the devas. So We're doing it on Wednesday night. We might be doing it in Ashland on Thursday night, the 23rd now, as well. On Wednesday night, we're doing it in person and online. So if you're inspired to come in person or online, all the information is in the description box. There's something I want to say about the invited exchange. So I was guided to invite an exchange of $22 to $44. The invited exchange assists us to cover the expense, the cost of traveling to do the darshans. And simultaneously, what we want to say is that everyone is welcome to these darshans. No one is turned away. If you have a calling to participate and you don't have the exchange, please just send an email saying Darshan. And if you have the capacity to share the exchange and you want to support us in our travels, because we're guided to go to Hawaii in April to share the darshans on Mauna Kea, on Haleakala, and on Kauai. And Yogananda is the one who has been guiding me with this. We've shared this and we'll share it again. Yogananda and Blvd are we sacred guides to the grids of the planet. And Yogananda came in the middle of January to say that the Darshan of the Devas was coming in to prepare the crystalline grids for the influx of light that is coming in. We're preparing the planetary body for the return of the Divine Mother's cosmic essence. And so that's a lot of energy, and that's why people are feeling the energy. And the Darshan of the Devas assists us to find that place of coherence within, so that as all this energy is coming in, we know how to be with this influx of light coming in. And so again, if you have resources and you can support the Darshan of the Devas, it is so appreciated. If you don't have the resources to send an exchange, please still participate in this Darshan all over the planet, because this one is key, as all of the Darshans are. We did a Darshan in Salt Lake City. We've done a Darshan in Santa Barbara. We've done Darshans Sedona and Crestone and all of the Tucson, all of these key places, all of these key energy vortexes. This Darshan, we, as with all the Darshans, will invite everyone to prepare a small bottle of water to receive the imprint of the Devas in your location. And then we will all anoint the planetary body in all of our locations with the Darshans to steward, to cultivate, to say, we are here, Devas, just like the people who work with the whales or the chimpanzees, saying to the animals and the whales, we are here to support. We are the planetary family that is here to nurture and steward all of this harmonic relationship amongst all species on the planet together. So I really invite anyone who's inspired by this to share it with your friends and your families and your communities. And we will be going online. We are doing the Darshan in Mount Shasta at Soul Connections Community Center. And they just got all their equipment to start doing online events. And so it's just perfectly, everything is lining up. And we've been offered a beautiful place to home sanctuary to stay. And we're just being assisted in so many beautiful ways to play our part. All we're being invited to do on the planet now is to play our part. And a lot of people want to play their part. They just don't know, what is my part? And so when we go into the Darshan of the Devas, the clarity of the purpose, the clarity of our part and our instruction sets comes in with such ease and grace, and is very, very specific to the guidance. So Yes, if you're inspired, bring groups together to sit together with us online on Wednesday night from 7 to 9:30 p.m. Pacific. And everyone can pour their darshan into the planetary body for this mass influx of light, which is the devas. And we are not separate from the devas. We are one with the devic realms, and this opens us up to our light bodies and our celestial selves. And so big shifts here, big potential, pure potential for the realization of the transfigured phase shift planetary body, because we all participated and just played our part. So I love you. I thank you. If you're inspired, please share this video. That's called Gifting, and we will be sharing more love streams as we are teleporting to Mount Shasta. We love we. So much love. Aloha. Mwah.